Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Logical Nonsense Podcast. Today, we got two past co-stars, Seth O'Brien and Dodge Matthews. They have flashed, come on to talk about some Madden ratings. Boys, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I saw the Maddens come out, and as always, they always start controversy. And so, I had to have two fellow Madden players come on, kind of go over them. Not only are they Madden players, but they're also football players, football fans. So it'll be good to talk about this. Boys, where do we want to start? Do we want to start on the defensive side or the offensive side?
Go offense first.
Offense? All
Sounds
right.
good.
Are we going to start hot at the quarterback?
Let's start hot. I like that.
All right, let's start hot at the quarterback. So, for your top 10 quarterbacks, at number 10, we got Tua at an 83, Kirk at 84, Aaron Rodgers at 86, Justin Herbert at 87, Dak Prescott at number 6 with an 87, Jalen Hurts at 88, Lamar Jackson at 91, Josh Allen 94, Joe Burrow 95, and Patrick Mahomes at 99. I want to hear your guys' takes first, and then I will comment on this list.
Obviously Dak does not belong there at all, especially not above Justin Herbert or Aaron Rodgers. They kind of did Aaron dirty too at 86. Tom had a down year and he was old, and I think he got 99. But they're gonna put Aaron Rodgers in 86. That's kind of crazy, especially with new talent around him. He's gonna explode. I'd definitely slide some people around. Jalen Hurts can maybe a little bit higher after the season he had, but really the only issues I have is Dak going down, Aaron Rodgers going up. But beyond that, I like the list.
Yeah, I think it's okay. The first thing that is obvious is Dak at 87.
Yeah.
Maybe 77 after last year.
Yeah, he did not have a good season.
But, Herbert, why is Herbert so low? That makes no sense to me. Name who's above Herbert again?
Above Herbert is Dak, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, no, Herbert deserves to be much higher. He's too talented. Just even running, he's too talented to be that low. Next, Rodgers at 86. I agree with Seth. Makes absolutely no sense in my brain. He's been a career great quarterback. I've never seen the disrespect, even in Peyton Manning's last season, which wasn't great. I believe he was rated way higher than 86. And I got more problems with quarterbacks lower down the list too, but completely agree with those.
Yeah, I think Dak, like you guys said, is the biggest glaring one. He's not even close to the sixth best quarterback in the league. I don't even think but 86 or 87 still way too high. I also think them putting it 88 after the year Jalen Hurts had last year, and then you're gonna say that Lamar Jackson is 3 overall better than him. I just don't think that makes sense. Personally, Jalen Hurts just led his team to the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson sat back and got a paycheck, so I don't know how he's a 91. But moving on, because we kind of got
just because he's MVP.
Yeah, no.
MVP.
Yeah.
That's it.
What's up with Geno?
All right. That was the next thing I had on my list. Geno Smith ahead of Jared Goff. What? Geno Smith, one good year.
Aren't you a Seahawks fan? Aren't you supposed to?
I'm a Seahawk fan. And Jared Goff has been to the Super Bowl. Well, he's played well. That made no sense. Derek Carr above Jimmy G, Russ, and Deshaun. That makes no sense. And Brock Purdy is equal to Kenny Pickett. Brock Purdy is equal to Kenny Pickett. I don't need to say anything else than that. Makes no sense in the world.
I'm just looking up all these guys.
Kenny Pickett's trash.
This year versus last year. And Aaron Rodgers lost 10 overall.
He had a bad year, but I don't think it's 10 overall less bad year.
Definitely.
That doesn't make sense to me. He's definitely
Third.
had probably the worst season we've seen from him. Oh, I don't know, probably in what, 10 years?
Oh, definitely. But uh, his stats weren't that bad, were they?
I mean,
They
his
weren't
biggest
good.
issues were he threw some picks. Oh, well, some he threw a lot more picks than what we're used to seeing him throw. But compared to a guy like Dak, who threw how many?
26 or something like that.
I mean,
It's
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 still
like
not
23
that
in the last
bad.
26 games.
So I
Oh,
I don't think it makes sense at all.
And I think I sent you something that like Rogers picks. I think like half of them came at end of the
Yeah,
halftime, end of game Hail Marys. That's gonna come down. That's just a one season
yeah.
bluff off.
Well, and you also got to consider. I mean, Seth kind of brought this up too. His weapons were just god awful in Green Bay. I mean,
Except for they brought some of them over.
no, I know. I mean, Lazard.
Lazard,
Okay,
yeah.
but the difference is Lazard's a good wide receiver 3, not a good receiver 1. You know what
Yeah, and
I'm
they got
saying? He's a good supporting cast member, but I don't think he's one of those guys that you can rely on to be your number 1 receiver every game. So I think that's the biggest difference in bringing those guys over. So, okay, we got a big list to go through. So I am going to move on. Let's move on to the receivers. Your top 10 receivers this year. CeeDee Lamb with a 90, AJ Brown at 91, Mari Cooper at a 91 for 8, Terry McLaurin at a 92 at number 7. At number 6, we have Jamar Chase with an 80 or 94 overall. Stephon Diggs, number 5 at a 96 overall. Cooper Kupp, 96 overall at number 4. Devontae Adams, number 3 at a 97 overall. Tyreek Hill at a 98 overall at number 2. And your number 1 receiver, Justin Jefferson, at a 99 overall. I'll go first this time. I don't really see a world where Terry McLaurin is better than AJ Brown. If you look at AJ Brown last season, I don't think there was a corner who could really stop him. He pretty much showed the league last year that he should be considered one of the, I don't know, top 5 because the freaking receivers are stacked, but he is definitely in the conversation for at least top 7. And I definitely don't think I would take Terry McLaurin on my team over AJ Brown any day. But that was my biggest one that I didn't like. I don't know. It's interesting. I think the conversation is another conversation piece to be had. CD a little low at 90. I would say so. I could see people saying not, but he also had a very good season last year. Jamar Chase at 94. But he's only played 2 seasons? Is that right? So I could see why they put him at 94. He's only had 2 seasons under his belt. But let's hear some of your guys' thoughts.
Yeah. So AJ Brown being above Terry McLaurin is something I would note, but it's not something I think is overly crazy. I think Terry McLaurin's good. He's underrated. And he's definitely within the conversation. AJ Brown is obviously a stud. I personally would rather have AJ Brown, but I can understand it. Honestly, I think the receivers are all done pretty well, even as you go farther down the list, with big name stars. Like they had OBJ later down the list at 85. I think that makes perfect sense. I was afraid they were going to rate OBJ way too high after he's coming back.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even play last year, so it's hard to rank him.
Yeah. So I think, but I honestly really like this wide receiver ratings that they have.
Seth?
Surprised you didn't bring up DK Metcalf at an 88.
They finally got it right. Tyler Lockett's above DK Metcalf, and that has been. He's just shown he's better.
Pretty fair. The only issue I have is Stephon Diggs and Cooper Kupp. Stephon Diggs, his stats last season were 1,400 yards, 11 tutties off 108 catches. and Coop had 75, 806. So if you're
Cooper didn't play a whole lot last year. He was battling injuries. And so I'm assuming they're giving him that rating just based off of legacy from that insane year he had with didn't he have like triple crown year?
yeah, he top
2021. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds right.
So I
for
mean,
sure.
I'm assuming they're just giving him the legacy off of that insane year he had in 2021. But
Even then,
we'll see.
I would fight Stephon Diggs goes up. I
Yeah,
think Stephon Diggs.
I would
deserves a
I
little
would
bit more
agree with that.
respect.
But then we got to
Um,
also think about quarterbacks. I mean, Diggs has Allen thrown to him. No offense to Stafford, but Stafford is not as good as Allen these days. It's not even arguable.
I definitely know. I think his arm's about to fall off any day now. No, besides that, it's pretty fair. Nothing too
Okay.
crazy.
All right. Then we will move on to the running back list, which is one of my favorites. It's going to be one of my favorites to talk about. I definitely have some of the most notes on this one. So for running backs, we've got at number 10, Kenneth Walker after a rookie, just one season, 87 overall at number 10, Aaron Jones at 88, number 9, number 8, Tony Pollard, 88 overall, number 7, Jonathan Taylor, 89 overall, number 6, Austin Eckler, 89 overall, number 5, Saquon Barkley at a 93 overall, Derrick Henry, 94 overall at number 4, Josh Jacobs, 95 overall at number 3, Christian McCaffrey at a 96 overall, number 2, and Nick Chubb, 97 overall at your number 1 running back. Take it away, Seth.
I was about to say, I don't have much for this one, honestly, just looking at this list. I mean, Jonathan Taylor had a down year. Joe Mixon, I think, was hurt for some of the year. Tony Pollard stepped up big this year, so I definitely see the 88. I mean, I guess you could throw Christian McCaffrey at 97 just because of the receiving abilities that he has. But I don't see too much trouble with it. I'm more prepared to see what you guys have to say for this.
There's only 2 notes I had for it, and both are ranked too high. And people are going to be thinking I'm not a Seahawks fan after this, but Josh Jacob and Kenneth Walker III are both too high. Kenneth Walker III is too new to be ranked so high in running back. He didn't even get a full season. Josh Jacob, he's solid, he's good, but he's just not. I wouldn't put him in that quite the upper echelon like he is in the game. Just the next tier down is what I would say is where he needs to be. So other than that, I think the running backs were done well too. But it sounds like you have a lot to say about it, Hunter. So
Yeah. I guess it's really just one player that kind of pisses me off is Derrick Henry. Well, I don't really see why he's 3 overall less than Nick Chubb when he had the exact same rushing yards as him. I guess just make it make sense. Not only do you have that factor of him having the exact same rushing yards as him last season, but you also got to put in account the kind of fear and way he changes the game for defenses when he's in a game. Don't get me wrong, Nick Chubb does the same thing, but I think there's a certain level of respect that that Derrick Henry has across the league that is kind of, I wouldn't say unmatched, but it's definitely hard to match. And so that's my biggest issue here. Is just that he's at a 94 and that's 3 below Nick Chubb. I definitely think he's better than Josh Jacobs. Like you said, Dodge, I don't think Josh Jacobs is better than Derrick Henry. And then the other issues I have, Kenneth Walker at 87, like you said, I personally think Joe Mixon is better than Kenneth Walker. And so to say that Joe Mixon was worse than, or not worse than, the equal playing level as Kenneth Walker, especially after only 1 year, doesn't really make sense to me. I also feel like Miles Sanders was a little low. He had a pretty good season last year. And so I feel like it's kind of slightly disrespectful considering the season he had, and you're saying that he, again, was worse than a rookie. I don't know. Doesn't really make sense to me. But those were the biggest ones I saw. I could see some people saying ETN is a little low at 84. I don't know. It's interesting because it almost feels like Madden has kind of put these ratings, especially like you kind of have your top tier within your top 5. So kind of the guys I was talking about in my running back drama podcast, the top 5 guys who kind of are, I would say, not, I don't know, untradeable. That's not like the right word for it, but definitely top tier. They kind of stand alone. And then you have, I would say, your next tier. And then some of the from like 84 to 86, those guys I feel like are when you start to see Madden be like, oh, these are very tradable guys. So I don't know. It's just interesting to me.
I think I got to give a shout out to Cordell Patterson for being an 85 running back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
No,
pretty
that's what I'm
cool.
saying though. Like it's, I don't know. I just saw a lot of interesting stuff here. So
I can see what you're saying about Derrick Henry. I guess it just seems like even though I think he had a decently productive year last year, it just seemed disappointing comparative to his all out just I'm the best of the
yeah,
previous year. And in that way, I think it knocked him down because expectations were so high. I don't think it's outrageous. Josh Jacobs is obviously too high, just is. Solid back, but don't want Raiders fans to hate me. But
To be fair, Josh Jacobs ran 1,600, 12 tutties. Not a bad year.
no, I've had him on my fantasy team the past 2 seasons, so he's definitely productive. But I think he's not an upper echelon quarter or running back. Gets a lot of touches.
yeah. And he also had that insane game against, was it this? Was it, no, who was it against? I can't remember who it was against, but he had like 250 yards or something crazy like that in a game. So that helps. That helps pad your stats for sure. Okay, moving on. We'll go to O
We're not
line.
doing. All right, I was about to say we're not doing fullback. Sorry.
Whoa! I actually do have something for fullbacks.
What's your fullbacks? Because I did
They're
not look.
all they're all underrated. Kyle Juszczyk is an 87. Okay. And then the next best is 83. And the best of the guys are like 78 or something.
Yep.
That's a little disrespectful. Juszczyk deserves to be a 90. Maybe the rest are in the 80s and 70s, but just a little underrated. Bring
And I
back
think
the
it's just
fullback NFL.
yeah, it's hard because it's a underutilized position at this point. It's becoming, it's what running backs are becoming of. Do we really need these guys? I disagree 100%. I think running backs are 100% needed, but I guess.
They're essential, but I mean the Patriots have shown, man. Talk about your Patriots winning the Super Bowl with LeGarrette Blunt on like
Oh,
a
he's good, baby.
yeah,
He's
but I
good.
mean, what was his contract? His contract was the 1 year good, 1 year pretty high. The next year it was like league min.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
Okay.
into the tight ends.
Oh, we can do. Yeah, we can do tight ends real quick. Actually,
Better
uh,
walk our way down the
I
skills,
totally
man.
forgot about tight ends. If I'm being honest, that's bad. Uh-oh. All right, tight ends. Number 10, we have Evan Ingram at 84, David Joku at 84 at number 9, Pat Fryermuth, I think that's how you say it. Overall 85, number 8, number 7, Darren Waller 86, number 6, Kyle Pitts at 87, number 5, Dallas Goedert at 89, number 4, TJ Hawkinson at a 90, number 3, Mark Andrews at a 95. Number 2, George Kittle at a 96. And at number 1, Travis Kelce at a 99 overall. Thoughts?
I think Mark Andrews is way, way, way too high.
Whoa.
90,
He's
One
the
of-
third best tight end, though.
I mean, sure, but
I
you
don't-
can.
I
Who are you
don't-
putting
I don't
above
know
him? Who are
who
you
else-
putting above him?
No, it's George Kittle, 100%. Travis
He
Kelce,
is.
100%. But I mean, if you just look at his stats, they're not.
Are you just saying
anything
the
great.
rating?
Yeah,
Or
his
are
rating
you
should
talking
be
about
lower. I'm
the
looking
ranking?
like a
The rating or
91
the ranking?
rating. 91, I think, 92.
What's he at right now?
95.
He's at a 96 or 95.
Yeah, that's a little high. I mean, his last season stats, 800 yards, 5 teddies. I get Lamar Jackson had a down year, but 95 seems a little high compared to, George Kittle, who's his closest competitor. I mean,
How many games did he have Tyler Huntley throwing to him? Okay. How many games, bro? I can understand. I could see Mark Andrews being a 93, but he's been too good in recent years to be lower. And he can't be below the other guys lower on the list because he is the third best there.
Yeah. I think to Seth's point, though, like, I don't know. It's tough. I could see it going either way. I could see him being a little lower. I don't think too much lower. I don't know about a 91, like maybe like a 93 or 94, but I don't know. Overall, I think this list, like how they have him ranked, is fine. It sucks because Zach Ertz was actually having a good year before he got injured. So I think if he doesn't get injured, he might be rated higher. But yeah, Dodge, do you have any issues with this list?
I think my biggest issue is that Waller is slightly low. Who was right above Waller again?
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I think for Pitts to be above Waller is a little interesting. Pitts, maybe this is part of expectation, but Pitts has been highly expected to just go off every year. He's hyped up. Oh, this is the year he goes off at Kyle Pitts, and he never does. Waller, at least when he's healthy, I think he's better. I think for sure he's better. But that's really I think this list is pretty good though, other than that. So
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you on that. I mean, Kyle Pitts, I definitely think is a little overrated, especially because he's had such high expectations coming out of college. Everyone thought he'd be this crazy tight end scorer. But he's just really not adding up to what his expectations were. So anything else on the tight ends before we move to O-line?
yeah, will Travis Kelce composure come down after hitting the guy? Hitting his teammate in practice?
His strength might go up.
His strength might go up.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe
What did
they'll
you
add
guys
in
think
that
about that?
feature. Did you know that you can, in this new game, there's a training camp mode in franchise, so
Yep.
maybe you can get in a
Start
fight.
fights. That would be pretty good. That would be a good addition to the game.
Look,
Yes.
I like fights at training camp. I think they show you a little gusto, what guys want to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know about teammates, especially when it's something small like that. Like it's not someone getting pancaked and then swimming over them.
Go ask Jordan Poole how getting into fights works. Got traded to
Got traded to the Wizards.
Wizards, so
Eli Apple's about to be the next one that gets in a fight.
yeah, because of Tyreek. You see those comments? Oh my god. All right. Moving on to O-line, since we're done with tight ends. Let's start with left tackles. Number 10, Colton Miller, 87. Jordan Mailata at 87 for number 9. Number 8, Tyron Smith, 89. Number 7, Ronnie Stanley at 90. Number 6, David, I don't even know how to say that last name. Number 5, Teron Armstead. Number 4, Tristan Wirfs at a 92. Number 3, Andrew Thomas at a 92. Laramie Tunsil at 95 for number 2. And then at number 1, Trent Williams, 98. No surprise. All right. Thoughts?
Yeah, I got a few on this one. Andrew Thomas is as good as Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I
Look, Tristan Wirfs didn't have his best season last season, but he still belongs in the top 3 conversation. And
definitely
it's definitely like he's definitely proven he's a top tackle in the league. So
like. I'm just gonna say this: Andrew Thomas is protecting Daniel Jones, and who's brought in to protect Tom? Tristan Wirfs. I think we know the league thinks who's better. Another one is David Bakhtiari.
yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Bakhtiari, the guy who was protecting Aaron Rodgers and drinks beer on the sideline of basketball games. I think he's been better
He's
than
been
some of
solid.
these newer guys just throughout his career. So I'm a little surprised he's behind them. I would move down maybe Andrew Thomas and possibly Tristan Wirfs a little lower and move him up.
The other ones that shocked me a little bit, I thought the Eagles left tackle Jordan Mailata, I thought he did solid last year. That O-line just in general was good, and obviously they succeeded with him at left tackle, so I was a little shocked by that one, but that was kind of my biggest one. Seth?
Yeah, I can't pull up stats on any of these guys. None of these websites have any of the pancakes or blocks allowed, any of that. I guess NFL, you got to get on that. David Bakhtiari, I remember seeing a stat. I don't know if it was like on TikTok or Twitter, but I don't think he let up, gosh, I want to say more than 2 sacks last season. And for a left tackle to do that, especially for Aaron Rodgers, who's 37, I mean, he moves, but yeah, you don't move. He's dodging his last season kind of moving, you know? So I think a 90 is definitely disrespectful. I could definitely see him going above Andrew Thomas and Tristan Wirfs if there's a shot for it. I want to look down the list. I think like Rashawn Slater could have been a little bit higher.
That's what that was the other guy I looked at too.
Yeah, Trent Brown could have been a little bit higher. He's from the Patriots. Jake Matthews, I think he's getting older, but he's always been a solid guy, but 82 seems pretty low for him. I just think it's a pretty hard position to rate. I mean, they're not even keeping stats on these guys. I don't know how they're how they're rating them.
I think the biggest thing they probably look at is just, sacks let up probably. And then yeah.
If you go to PFF, I think it's Pro Football Focus. They do blocking grades on run blocking and pass blocking.
No, I have it. I don't got it.
Yeah, it might be a premium subscription though. I
I have a
everyone
premium subscription to a
no
PFF.
I follow them on Twitter, and every once in a while they give out little hints of grades that they give out, and I get that. So
All right. Moving on to left guard. This is a sad list. I didn't realize how diluted this position is, but I don't even want to say the 10 through 6 because it's just sad. But
Yeah.
5 in, we've got Lander Dickerson at 82 overall. 4, Elgton Jenkins, 87 overall. 3, Joe Thuney at an 89 overall. And number 2, Quentin Nelson at a 92 overall. Your top-rated left guard, Joel Bitonio.
He's been at it for a while, hasn't he?
Both Bitonio and I guess Nelson's pretty young, but
Nelson's young, but I feel like Batonio's been in there since like
yeah, he's been there for a while.
But
Antonio's good though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I mean,
Nelson's
I don't really
good too.
have much on this, so if anybody else does.
Only thing is that Batonio and Nelson could be higher up.
Yeah,
and move
92 is
them.
definitely low, especially considering if they're the best at their position. But
And they're known as like as some of the best linemen in general as well.
True.
I mean, you see a lot about that with Quentin Nelson, especially for how young he is.
True.
yeah,
So I could see them being 94s or 95s. Because what was Worth or Andrew Thomas? Wirfs or Andrew Thomas? I mean, they should be ranked.
Worst was
even with Quentin Nelson.
92. Worst was 92. And I
Okay.
believe Thomas was too, actually.
So, I would say just maybe a little higher, but
Yeah.
other than that, this list was good.
I
All
mean,
right.
looking
We'll
at
move
kind of
into centers then. We can go from 10 in, I guess. At a 79 overall, Cody Whitehair. Number 9, Connor Williams at an 80. Number 8, Tyler Linderbaum at an 80. Number 7, Ted Karras at an 80. Number 6, David Andrews at an 83. At number 5, Ryan Jensen at an 87. 4, Corey Lindsley at 88. At 3, Frank Ragnow at 88. At 2, Creed Humphrey at a 90. And at number 1, Jason Kelsey at a 92 overall. I think my biggest complaint with this one is I feel like Ryan Jensen's a little better than number 5 raked. It's only at an 87 overall. I feel like he hasn't digressed that much, but that could just be me too.
How high do you want him?
I feel like he deserves to be at least better than Corey Lindsley. I think he's arguable with Ragnow and Creed Humphrey, but I don't know.
I'm going to disagree with Creed Humphrey. I think the two that separate themselves, kind of like the two guards at the top, are Creed Humphrey and Jason Kelsey. I think those two are on a tier of their own. So I think they could be higher as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's just another one of those positions where you have like the top 5 guys for 87 to 92, and then you got a steep drop to 83, 80. It's just, I don't know. I definitely could see Ryan Jensen being a little bit higher. I agree with Hunter on switching him and Frank Ragnow or Corey Lindsley, but maybe David Andrews going up. I mean, he's been rock solid for a few years for the Patriots. He could take a little bit of boost, but I don't know with these ratings. I mean, they got to go up somehow. They go up.
Right guard. So at number 10, we've got James Daniels at an 80. Number 9, Alex Kappa at an 80. Number 8, Trey Smith at an 82. Number 7, Brandon Scherf at an 83. At 6, Shaq Mason, 84. At number 5, Kevin Zeitler at 85. Number 4, Mike Onwenu at an 85. At number 3, Wyatt Teller at an 86. At number 2, Chris Lindstrom at a 93. And at number 1, Zach Martin. Thoughts?
I think it's just another one of those like offensive lineman positions that it's just like what are they doing?
Is the best.
Yeah, it's like
the only
1-2, and it's just
the only one I was a little shocked on was Brandon Scherf. It felt a little low, but I don't know. Maybe
he's gotten older, right?
Yeah,
I think that's it. I didn't have any problems with this, so
okay.
Right guard.
We can move on then. Unless Seth, did you have anything else?
No, they gotta find a fix for these ratings, man.
85. Or what? What am I saying?
85.
At right tackle, number 10, Mike McGlinchey. I'm sorry, I can't even focus. At number 10, Mike McGlinchey at an 80 overall. At number 9, Jack Conklin at an 80 overall. At number 8, Lael Collins at an 81 overall. Number 7, Rob Havenstein at 82 overall. At number 6, Braden Smith at an 82 overall. Number 5, Taylor Modon at an 84 overall. Number 4, Brian O'Neill at an 86 overall. Number 3, Panay Sewell at an 86 overall. Number 2, Ryan Ramczyk at an 89 overall. And number 1, Lane Johnson from the Eagles, 98 overall.
I thought this one was perfect.
Qualms?
Lane Johnson's ahead of everybody. It's not close. And there's no other good, really elite right tackles. All the rest of the right tackles are pretty good to below that.
Yeah, what happened with that, though? Because, we just haven't had a good right tackle, and a while, or did they all retire, or what?
I guess we don't have good right guards, centers, left guards.
Well, this is
So
apparently why running backs aren't needed anymore because our line sucks. You can't run the ball to the right side, right? So
yeah,
Well,
who knows?
I'm
yeah,
interested to see pass rushers now, like D tackles, D ends, because I mean, if their stats are just blowing past the offensive linemen, there's something there.
yeah. All right, then we will move to defense. We'll start with the big boys up front, D linemen, top 10 D tackles. Number 10, Javon Hargrave at an 84 overall. Number 9, Grover Stewart at an 85 overall. Number 8, Kenny Clark at an 86 overall. Number 7, DeForest Buckner at an 86 overall. Number 6, DJ Reader at 87 overall. Number 5, Vita Vea at 88 overall. Number 4, Jonathan Allen at 92 overall. 90 at 3, Quinnen Williams at a 93 overall. Number 2, Dexter Lawrence, 94 overall. And your number 1 defensive tackle, Chris Jones. Qualms, boys?
No qualms from me on this one. I just want to give a shout out to Dexter Lawrence and Quentin Williams. Everyone thought they were going to be great out of college. They turned out to have the right stuff. You know, those are two guys that turned out exactly how they were supposed to. So
Before I
Yeah, I think
speak, anything from you, Seth?
I think Vita Vey, I mean, I don't think he should move anywhere, but for him to come like he was pretty lowly rated on the Browns to an 88 now. Pretty solid. He must have picked something up from oh gosh. Oh no, from Nebraska too. Dodgers.
Nadamakan
Yeah,
Sue.
Seuster. Um, yeah, I can't see anything wrong with these. Maybe DeForest Buckner can be a little bit higher. I know he's been pretty solid, but yeah, everything else I like.
So this might be a hot take. I don't know. I feel like Eric Armstead and Ed Oliver are two guys that definitely could be higher, in my opinion, especially Ed Oliver. He's definitely had games where he's shown he can be a pretty solid defensive tackle. I don't know. I feel like 81's pretty low for him. Um, I don't know. I just feel like he could be in that top 10 conversation. That was my biggest one. I know Armstead, feel like he started off hot and has kind of leveled out from what I remember, but still 82 kind of feels low. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not.
I think Ed Oliver at 81. I didn't realize how low he was. Where's that ranked? I mean, is he
That is
15,
ranked
20?
at 14. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's lower than what he was when he started. I think he was like
Yeah.
near 85.
Yeah, and
And
it's
I'm
just
not sure he's gotten a whole lot better,
but he
but
hasn't really digressed either,
he
in
has
my opinion.
no. I think he should be around 85, maybe 86.
Yeah. That's the biggest one that I saw. I was like, I feel like he could easily be in the top 10 conversation. I'm not saying he's, you know, a 90 or anything like that. Like you said, I think 85, 86 is where he should land. Definitely.
I
Okay.
am a little interested in Jordan Davis for the Eagles, 79 as a rookie. Pretty solid.
Yeah. And his co partner, Jalen Carter, is also at a 79. So we'll see how they do together. Moving on. So we're going to do edge rushers together. But we're going to, because there's so many edge rushers, we're going to do it all like we're going to do top 20. So number 20, Dre Greenlaw, 86. Number 19, Daniel Hunter, 87. Number 18, Brian Burns, 87. 17, Trey Hendrickson, 87. 16, Cameron Jordan, 87. 15, Rashawn Gary, 88. 14, Matt Milano, 88. 13, Jeffrey Simmons, 89. 12, Matt Judon, 89. 11, Hassan Reddick at 90. 10, DeMarcus Lawrence at a 90. 9, Joey Bosa, 91. 8, Cameron Hayward at a 93. 7, TJ Watt at a 94. 6, Vaughn Miller at a 94. 5, Max Crosby, 94. 4, Micah Parsons at a 97. Your top 3, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, and Aaron Donald, all 98 and up. Lot to gather on this one. Biggest sore. So there's a few sore thumbs to me. I don't know if Von Miller is a 94 anymore. I love Von Miller, and I think he actually had a pretty decent year last year. I don't think he's a 94 anymore. I'd put him more at that 90 range. And I think Matt Judon should go up as well. Especially because a lot of people consider him an elite edge rusher in the game right now. I know Seth is getting excited there as a Patriots fan for me to give him praise, but legitimately he is a very good edge rusher. So I was a little surprised by that. I was a little surprised Josh Allen was so low. At an 85. I feel like him on the Jags, and I don't know his stats, so he could have had a down year, but I feel like he's consistently been a pretty good edge rusher for the Jags. So I was a little surprised with that one. But those were the sore thumbs to me. Now I'll let you guys give some of your takes. Dodge.
I think Josh Allen's just kind of lower because maybe injury proneness. I'm gonna guess that his injury rating isn't very high. And I don't know. The only question I really had on this one was I split them up when I was looking at them. DeMarcus Lawrence was rated the best left end in the game. And I said, he's good, but is he the best? I know he's lower since we combined them. But I think he might be still too high. He's a solid, but he's just not elite to me, and at least in the game he seems to be in that elite
Yeah, I think
left end spot.
I could see what you're saying. I definitely don't think. I mean, that's another one that could be talked about. Cam Jordan's very good and a little underrated in my opinion at an 87. He's another guy who's consistently shown he can bring a lot of pressure to a quarterback. Maybe it's not even sacks, but just getting there. Year after year, he's been a top guy, especially in the NFC. So
yeah, no, I just realized I had that in my notes as well about Cam Jordan. He needs to be higher as well.
So, Seth,
I think I just got to agree with kind of all of what's been said. I mean, you have Matthew Judon who doubled, the amount of sacks than Cam Jordan and DeMarcus Lawrence. And he's not even top 10.
who is this?
Matthew Judon. He
Yeah.
doubled the amount of sacks, and he's not even in the top 10. That doesn't make sense. Also, Cameron Jordan had 3 more sacks than DeMarcus Lawrence did. And and Cam's like 36 at this point. I mean, for the guy to be that old doing what he's doing, I mean, I got to give props, I guess. But this is another one of those things where, like, left end, I guess you'd rather have your best D end on the right side, so that makes sense. Just try to get around that left tackle, left tackle. So
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think TJ Watt should be ranked higher? He's at a 94. He's ranked 7th on this edge rusher list. He won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Not like this last year, but like the year before that, obviously. And he also broke the stacks record. So I don't know.
Yeah, who's ahead of him?
Well, technically, Von Miller and Max Crosby are rated the exact same as him.
Yeah, Max Crosby.
I can
understand. He's become a elite guy. Von healthy 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Healthy 5 years ago is a key word, though.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying about that. But then really, the biggest thing to me was DeMarcus Lawrence. Judon, I don't know. I've just never been a Judon fan. So I can understand him being lower. He also isn't in the media all that much. You got to think about it that way. So he's not going to be getting overhyped or overpraised. If anything, he's going to be underrated. And that was my expectation going in, was that he would be rated good or underrated. I had no expectation of him being overrated.
Okay, cool. So since we did gather the edge rushers together, that basically included left end, right end, left outside linebacker, and right outside linebacker. So we'll move on to middle linebackers. At the middle linebacker position. What's up?
Could we talk about left outside linebacker really quick?
Yeah. What's there?
So I know we combined them in the podcast, but they put Joey Bosa as a left outside linebacker in the game. And that dude is not a left outside linebacker. An edge guy, you know what we did here, that makes sense. But left outside linebacker, I mean, when's the last time this guy got a pass deflection in coverage? Not just putting his hands up.
Whoa. Sorry, I'm just seeing a ranking that I did not catch before. Why is Bradley Chubb at a 79?
Ooh.
Look, all I'm gonna say on that is I don't think the Dolphins give that much up to the Broncos if he's a 79 overall.
What did they give up again? Remind me.
I can look it up, but they gave up a first round pick, a fourth round pick, and Chase Edmonds.
Yeah.
I mean,
That would be a bad trade if he's 79. I don't think he's 79. He should be in the 80s. He should be in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's. I mean, you're a Broncos guy, but
I get
you
that,
watch him much more often.
He's not even a Broncos guy anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying he deserves to be 90, but 79, he's at least 83, 84 in my opinion. But I don't know. I mean,
to go back on it a little bit, where did we have Shaquille Barrett?
Yeah, Barrett.
I saw him.
Barrett's at an 80.
No, he's not an 80.
Shaquille Barrett?
He's at an 80? Oh my God.
Yeah. I think that's fair, to be honest, in my opinion. Where do you want him?
At least an 85?
Whoa, at least an 85.
I mean, I guess he had a down year, but I mean, 2 years ago he had almost 20 sacks, 8 sacks, 10 sacks. Plus he's in pass coverage all the time.
Name some of the guys who are at 85, and then let's talk about Shaquille Barrett.
So the only guy that technically is at an 85 for the left outside linebacker position. We can go to edge rushers if you want me to give you more perspective. But the left outside linebacker position at 85 is Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. Allen and Barrett. I think Allen's better than Barrett, if I'm being honest.
Allen's younger than Barrett, but
for
Allen
edge rushers, we have Calais Campbell, Zadarius Smith, and Chase Young at 80.
Yeah, I don't see how Barrett's better than any of them. All of those guys are better than Barrett, in my opinion. Where are some of the rookies? Where's that's what the Eagles rookie.
That's what I was the rookie.
Georgia guy.
Oh, he's at a 79. Okay. Will Anderson's also at a 79.
All right. Rookie. I mean, so I like it when they don't rate rookies way too high.
Yeah.
NBA 2K has this problem where they
definitely.
I mean, I think Victor Wembanyama is 93 or something.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he hasn't even played a game in the NBA yet.
What did they put Luka as when he first came in?
I don't know.
They were better at rating then, so maybe like an 84. Something like
Luka's better than Victor. Jesus.
All right. Well, Luka's moved up, but anyway, that's 2K.
Moving on to middle linebackers. At number 10, we have Eric Kendricks at an 85 overall. At number 9, we have Devondre Campbell, 85. Number 8, CJ Mosley, 85. Number 7, Tremaine Edmonds, 87. Number 6, Nick Bolton at an 87. Number 5, Bobby Wagner at an 89. Number 4, Demario Davis at 90. Number 3, Levante David at 91. Number 2, Roquan Smith at 92. And at number 1, Fred Warner at a 96 overall. Any surprises here?
I'll let Seth go first.
I definitely think Fred's the best.
Yeah.
I could see some of these guys moving up though, like Quan Smith can move up a little bit, Levante David can move up a little bit. Bobby at an 89. I mean, it's hard because he was kind of held back by his team and some injuries, but 89 I think is a little low for him. Also, Tremaine Edmonds at an 87. I think he's just a freak athlete. I
Yeah.
think he should be just higher based off his skill, like his athleticism. Beyond that, I think he had pretty decent stats last year, so he could be a little bit above. I could see him at an 88, 89. But I guess everything else, I need to be paying more attention to middle linebackers, I guess. I don't know some of these names.
What the heck is Bobby Wagner doing behind Demario Davis? This is where my Seahawks going to come out. That pisses me off. Bobby Wagner proved he was the second best linebacker last year. I mean, great season. And you're going to put him behind Demario Davis? Give me a break. He's only behind Fred Warner. I don't care how old he is. That guy's a Hall of Famer. Bobby Wags all the way. He was in the 80. He wasn't even a 90. I can't wait for this man to show up, bring Seattle defense back. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Bobby Wagner should be higher. But don't do my man Demario Davis wrong. He has been a consistent, very good top 5 linebacker for the last 5 years. It's not even close. Look at his stats. He's consistently led that Saints defense to be at least decent every year. He's been a leader. He's good. So don't disrespect him.
Won't disrespect him. But Bobby, he's no Bobby. Ain't no way. Bobby's been the best linebacker for except for the last 2 seasons because he gotten older.
Yeah.
The 10 previous seasons before that. It's him and Luke Kuechly. That's it. That was the numbers right there. Him and Luke Kuechly.
Patrick Willis?
No.
Patrick Willis?
And Patrick Willis is a Hall of Famer too. That should tell you something about B Wags. An 89. Goodness gracious. It kind of reminds me of the Aaron Rodgers 86 rating. That's just, it's just baloney. It's baloney.
Baloney.
You guys are killer.
Okay. We'll move on to corners then. Interesting list. Number 10, we have Denzel Ward at 88. Number 9, Marshawn Lattimore at 90. Number 8, Tre'Davious White at 90. Number 7, Stephon Gilmore at 91. Number 6, Darius Slay, 92. Number 5, Sauce Gardner at 93. Number 4, Marlon Humphrey at 93. Number 3, Patrick Surtain at 94. At number 2, Jair Alexander at 95. And your number 1 cornerback, Jalen Ramsey at a 97. Is Jalen Ramsey still the best corner in the game?
I think so. I think what he does in both zone and man, plus just his knowledge of the game at this point, he still is. Though I do think some of these guys deserve to be bumped up a little bit closer to him. I mean, Sauce let up 0 teddies, and you got the Seahawks rookie who had 6 interceptions, 1 teddy let up. I mean, they're doing some of these guys a little bit dirty.
He's not even. You want to hear something crazy about that? Is he's not even in the top 20.
No, he's ranked 83. 83. Yeah. Are you absolutely? This is again where my Seahawk comes out in me. That pisses me off.
Here's Tariq. Yeah.
It was debatable for who was going to get. Was it defensive rookie of the year?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Between Tariq Woolen and Sauce, because Sauce, while he didn't allow a touchdown, he didn't have very many picks. But Tariq Woolen didn't allow very many touchdowns, but had a lot of picks. And he's rated 10 overall less. 10?
Yeah.
93 versus 83?
Another one that's crazy to me. Well, 2 of them that are crazy to me. Xavier Howard, not too long ago, was in that conversation for best corner in the league, and is now at an 84 overall. Then you also have J.C. Jackson, who not too long ago was also considered one of the better corners in the league. He's an 82 overall. Did they digress that much as corners last year?
I think it just happens in Madden that like corners just get like obliterated if they have an off season, or if they just like have like a subpar season of what they should be doing. And then Madden's just like, oh, you're trash. Get down the list.
Get him out of here.
Yes,
Get him out of here. Exactly.
But to like Dodge's point, Tariq Woolen didn't have a bad season.
No.
So
No,
like,
Tariq
I don't
Woolen
understand.
was a top 10 corner last year.
I would say top 7, top 6.
And this guy is, oh my goodness, there couldn't be more motivation for Tariq Woolen going into next season from the man ratings. I think he tweeted out something like "wait and see" or something like that. It was just crazy. But Jalen Ramsey is too high as well. He used to be the best corner, no doubt. There's no question. He's
I
not
think
anymore.
there's a question now. Yeah.
Now there's a question. So
I
he should be
high if somebody says he is, but I think there's
I don't bat an eye if someone says he doesn't.
Yeah,
or he isn't.
no, exactly.
So I think he should be brought down to earth a little bit comparative to the rest of the corners.
There should
And
be 2 overall above Jair Alexander, and then 3 overall above guys like Pat Surtain, Marlon Humphrey, Sauce Gardner.
yeah. No, and they did a great job doing Sauce, like getting Sauce high and Surtain high. And then I don't know what happened with Tariq Woolen. Like, he's the obvious notable corner that's missing from that group.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me give you some stats here for passer rating allowed. I mean, number one, I want to say there's only 2 people in the top 5 that are in the top 10 of this rating. That's only Sauce and Jair Alexander, both with great passer rating allowed. I mean, Sauce had 54, and against Tariq Woolen, he had a 72. But I mean, you have guys up there like, gosh, let me pull it up again.
What did Ramsey allow? I'm just wondering.
Like, let me pull it up.
But anyways, I mean, while you're looking that up, I think corners, like you said, are so weird because I think it's year by year, like it's one of those positions where I feel like you're either having a really good year or you're not. And obviously Madden is very sensitive to that. So, but I don't know. It's interesting for sure.
This has to be the worst rated group, I think, out of all the groups. It's either this one or the quarterbacks are the worst. And quarterbacks are most controversial.
Also, a notable one who was pretty freaking decent last year, Rasul Douglas at an 81 feels low to me. He was pretty freaking decent last year. I don't know if that's just me, but
I mean, I'll go to bat for Jonathan Jones at 83.
James Bradbury at 85.
JC Horn had a pretty decent season. I think he had like top. Gosh, I want to say he was number 3 or 4. JC Horn was second in passer rating allowed, and he's an 83 overall.
I think they screwed this one up the worst.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey had a 74.
Worse than Tariq Woolen. That's all I have to say. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The 97 rated overall cornerback had a better passer rating allowed than the 83 overall cornerback. It makes no sense. The quarterbacks, I think, was badly rated too, in my opinion. But the cornerbacks are the worst.
Yeah, no, I mean, J.C. Jackson all the way down to an 82.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what Hunter was saying, yeah.
Adoree Jackson, 81. Colton Davis, 81. Yeah, they got to redo some of this.
So, okay. we'll move on. Unless somebody else has some left to say here. Nope. Okay. Moving on. To strong safety, Marcus May at 83. Number 9, Cameron Curl at an 83. Number 8, CJ Gardner Johnson, 84. Number 7, Talonia. I don't know how to say his name. Hufanga for the 49ers, their strong safety, 86. Number 6, Kyle Duggar, 86. Number 5, Jamal Adams, best in the league, 88 overall. Number 4, Buda Baker at 90. Number 3, Jordan Poyer at 90. Number 2, Harrison Smith at 90. And your top strong safety, Derwin James at a 95. I'll go first here. Hufanga had a terrific season last year and definitely should be rated higher. 86 is very low for him, in my opinion.
We should be rated higher than Tariq Woolen.
Well,
Like, just as
they
is,
play different. They
just as
play
is,
different
he's got-
positions, but
I mean, I think Tariq had a better season overall.
No,
Yeah,
you're
but
not
they-
wrong, but that I mean they screwed up Tariq like we said, and Tafunga had a good season, but he's pretty young too. I don't know. Jamal Adams is, and now people are going to
Honestly.
begin questioning my Seahawk fan. How much I am a Seahawk fan, but he's a little too high. It just because of his injury proneness, he should be rated lower.
yeah,
So, and I
Yeah.
like him. I think he's decent, and not just decent. I mean, he's good, but
I
he
don't know.
gets injured every year.
I guess my biggest thing with Hufanga is he made all pro first team. And if he's gonna make all pro first team, then he shouldn't be ranked number 7 as a strong safety.
That's fair.
So
Jamal Adams has a 77 injury rating, by the way. So he's got to mute himself for that one.
That stat should be like 45, if I'm being honest. He gets injured third game of the season every year. Check it.
Harrison Smith. So I saw this stat the other day, and basically through the same amount of games as Troy Polamalu, he has better stats for the career.
Like, clear outright.
Yeah.
How many years did Palomalu play though?
Like 11, I think.
No, same amount of games is what I'm saying.
And Troy was always rated highly, like 90s throughout his years.
So it's just something interesting. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not going to say he's better than Troy.
No, I'm not.
But...
That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just interesting because he's rated 6 overall less than, or 5 overall less than Derwin James. But I don't know. Something interesting to think about. Anything else on this one that you guys want to point out?
Derwin James is such a freak, though, athletic freak, that I think maybe he's pulling down like the rest of the guys because they realized there needed to be a space in between Derwin James and everyone else.
Yeah, fair enough. Seth?
Nothing I can see. I mean, I haven't watched too much like of just safety play these past few years, but I mean, Harrison Smith, like you said, is always a name that I hear year in, year out of being a top guy, and him to be like 90 overall, I think he should definitely be higher. Definitely, I think he separates himself from Poyer and Baker. Adam, move him down a lot, quite a bit, maybe like a 83, 84. How do we know if he's good if he doesn't play?
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, how do we know if he's good if he doesn't play?
Look, I'll move his injury rating down to 45 manually, and that's where his rating should be. Okay.
I don't know if it affects overall too much.
It should a little bit.
Okay. All right. We are running out of time, so I'm going to move on to free safeties. Number 10, we got Quandre Diggs at 87. Number 9, Jimmy Ward at 87. Number 8, Antoine Winfield Jr. at 87. At number 7, Marcus Williams at 88. Number 6, Micah Hyde at 89. Number 5, Jesse Bates at a 91. Number 4, Tyrann Mathieu at a 91. Number 3, Kevin Byard at a 92. At number 2, Justin Simmons at a 92. And at number 1, Minka Fitzpatrick at a 93 overall. Thoughts here? Anyone?
Good.
You guys like
Sounds
it?
good to me. I like it.
I like
Maybe-
it. 100 Diggs maybe goes up a tad.
Maybe
Yeah, pretty
Minka as
solid.
well.
Yeah, Minka's too.
91's a little low for the best free safety in the game.
He's at 93.
93.
Yep.
93 is still a little low. But
Yep.
I was saying Micah Hyde should go up a little bit.
where is he?
89. He's like 6th.
I don't have
I-
big opinions about this group.
It's tough because they're all
guess-
so close.
Yeah. I feel like I shouldn't be saying this as a Broncos fan, but maybe it's because I'm a Broncos fan. But Justin Simmons is slightly overrated. He gets a lot of picks, but in terms of man-to-man defense, he actually struggles a little bit. From time to time, believe it or not, especially if you watch the film. I feel like he should probably be like at number 5 ranked safety and free safety and not number 2, but that might just be a hot take for me.
Interesting, because I thought you were going to come in here and say he should be above Minka Fitzpatrick.
Definitely not. Definitely not. No, I think it's probably one of those things where it's kind of like reverse being a fan, where like instead of me defending him, I actually have seen him be bad and now don't want to defend him. So, but
Basically, me with half of the Seahawks team.
yeah,
Yeah, me with the whole Patriots season, I didn't want to watch it. So
Where's Mac Jones rated? Where's Bailey Zappi rated? New
actually a
QB1
good
right there.
question. I'd like to dive into that after this.
Anyway,
all right. So we've only got about a minute left, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh,
Seth,
no fast kickers? Kickers are players too, man.
I did
okay,
have one note
all
on
you need to
kickers.
know about kickers.
They're underrated.
Justin,
Underrated.
yeah,
underrated.
Justin Tucker is at a 91, and then everyone else is like way
83 to
low.
79.
Like
It's bad.
82 and 78.
It's bad.
I think that's a little disrespectful.
Definitely. Okay. Well, thanks, boys, for coming on. Appreciate you going through the ratings with me. Seth, Dodge, any last words?
I'm down to hop back on.
Thanks
what?
for having us, Hunter.
Wow. Dodge is on vacation. He's trying to go back to his parents.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming on, boys. All right, moving into our music section. First off, wanted to give you guys a little heads up on some of what is expected to be releasing in the next couple of weeks. This Friday, the biggest one is Drake's For All the Dogs. It's expected to come out. We'll see how he can follow up his collab album with 21 Savage. I could see him having troubles following up Her Loss. It did very well. And Drake's been very up and down lately, so we will see what he has in store. Also, the following week, we have drops from Trippie Redd, Chief Keef, Quavo, Benny the Butcher, and that looks like about it for the following week. But be sure to look out for those for the next 2 weeks. Sounds like some big names are going to be dropping, which is good. Keep the momentum going after last week. The album I didn't review last Friday that also dropped was Austin by Post Malone. Post Malone isn't necessarily my style anymore. I will go further deep when I talk about this album a little bit, but wanted to give it a shot. I think as, music reviewer, you can't be biased towards, one genre or one artist, so I'm really trying to bring in an biased perspective, kind of give it a chance, I guess. So I gave Austin a chance. First song comes out, and I actually really like the first song. Love the guitar, great vocals throughout, great passion, kind of touching but also sad reflection on kind of him saying like, I don't understand why you like me, like I don't like myself. And it's I think something a lot of guys who struggle with mental health could probably relate to. um, Sorry if that sounded arrogant. I just meant in general, I feel like there are times in our lives where we question, why do people like us? um, and so it was a very real song. And so I think from Post, I'm not saying he doesn't post real songs. He's done pretty well with that and expressing his feelings and that kind of thing. But it was definitely cool to hear it on a track like this. So I thought that was a very cool way to kind of start the album. Then we get into songs, more songs. I don't want to get too into the track list because I kind of had started to notice similar notes on each song, and when I start to see similar notes, it starts to develop into kind of the same opinion about the album. It's interesting. I think there's a lot of different production throughout. There's some songs where he brings in very heavy basses, but throughout, I would say that the album is kind of an indie pop twist to what we've seen from him. Definitely heavily influenced by that genre, which is very interesting and something I wanted to bring up because you look at his path to where he has gotten to now. His first song that really blew up was White Iverson. White Iverson was a huge song for him, and you look at that song compared to a lot of the songs on this album, and it's just so different. And something that not every artist is able to do is kind of transform themselves throughout. And we've consistently seen Post Malone kind of redefine his sound and redefine what kind of music he wants to make album after album, which is both cool, but I also feel like the people who have continued to follow him are just very loyal to him, and they, I think, are more of a pop fan than they are a hip hop fan. And I could be wrong, maybe some people who have followed him from the beginning were hip hop fans and still like his sound, and that's okay. I'm just thinking from my perspective, it does feel like a lot of his fans are more pop fans, and his sound is definitely unique to him and what he's doing. But like I said, a lot of indie pop influence. There's a lot of lyricism in this though too. I don't want to discredit that. He does a good job of a lot of self-reflection, a lot of talk about relationships, and just songs about being obsessed with love, not being able to let go. He also has a song like Too Cool to Die that is puts a kind of interesting perspective on kind of being, I guess, mortal. That sounds like that's a weird way to say it, but and so I could see that song being a hit. But a lot of poppy feel to the album. Not really my cup of tea, but I respect what he did, and I would respect if somebody said, I really like this album. It wasn't like anything that I couldn't listen to. It's just that I felt like it felt a little too mainstream for me, which some might say sounds hypocritical for me because I do listen to mainstream rap, but in the terms of mainstream pop, I feel like it's very on schedule for kind of what I would expect for the direction he has gone, because he has, I felt like, gone in this direction, which feels safe in my opinion. I don't think you're gonna get a lot of hate from going in indie pop direction unless like it's super super bad and his vocals and his lyricism is too good for it to be bad. The production could be. There were songs where I felt like it was a little too loud, maybe a little too confusing at times, but overall it was decent, and I think this album will do fine for him. He's always had success, especially at the charts. So overall, not my cup of tea, so I'm not gonna rate it. But if you're into Post Malone, maybe give it a listen. It wasn't for me though. But that was kind of all I had for the music section. Hopefully Drake comes out with his album on Friday so I can review that. Be sure to stay tuned. Finally, our fashion segment today. We'll start out with our sneaker releases for the week. On Friday, we've got the Jordan 1 Low OG Black Toes. Pretty solid colorway. I could see it doing very well. Also expected the Jordan 2 Low Craft Black Vanillas. Very interesting twist to the Jordan 2. And then Saturday, we have the Jordan 13 Wolf Grays coming out, as well as the Nike Women's Air Max 1 Pale Ivories, the Union Air Jordan 1 High OG Wovens. Very interesting twist to that shoe. Union always, I feel like, kills it. Not sure if they killed it this time. I'm not a huge fan of the, I would say, almost kind of mitt weave down the middle of the shoe. It's interesting. It's something we haven't seen with the Jordan 1 before. But I don't know if I dig it. It's a little too, I guess, skeleton for me, if that makes sense. But if that's your thing, I mean, they're interesting. Like, I definitely see them doing well. I just don't know if it's for me personally. But it is a cool concept. Union always comes out with cool concepts. So if you can get your hands on those, which probably will be hard, make sure to check them out. On Saturday, the Crenshaw Skate Club Nike SB Dunk Lows. Crazy print on these if you haven't checked them out. I really like this colorway. Very simple yet unique. They will be retailing at $130, which is a little higher than their normal price at retail at $110. Then we also, for the dunks, have the Albino and Predo SB Dunk Lows. Very simple colorway with the black and the neutral beige. Also, from Nike, big week for shoes this week. Nike Nocta Glide Black and White. Not a huge fan of the Nocta shoes, in my opinion. But if you're a Drake fan, make sure to look out for those. And then we also have the Air Max 95 White Purple Gums. Very simple yet wearable colorway in purple, white, and gum, like I just said. Then we also have, trying to look for bigger releases. Looks like that's about it from what I'm seeing. Also the Nike Dunk Low Gorge Green, just a green and blue colorway with a little bit of red. But yeah, that looks like it's about it. So let me know what you guys are trying to get, and yeah. So for our bigger subject today that I wanted to bring up, something that's been talked about for years now in the fashion industry is just sustainability. As many of you know, it's a very important concept, especially because apparel is such a big industry in business. And, one of the biggest factors to manufacturing is that they produce a lot of waste. It's a very wasteful industry. And so something that a lot of people, push towards are like, businesses need to be more sustainable. And surveys have come out where, a majority of people have said that sustainability is important to them. But after digging in a little deeper, only about a third of consumers are actually wanting to pay the price to, for their product to be sustainable. So it's interesting because I feel so often we as consumers have these demands, so sustainability in this instance, and yet aren't really wanting to pay the consequences. I understand that, we don't ever want to pay more, but at the same time, you can't be hypocritical. You can't have wants if you aren't going to match the consequences of those wants. I don't know. It's just interesting because from a business perspective, it's very hard to match everyone's needs. Companies who already have kind of high markup rates, they probably can't afford to, go a little bit more sustainable. Yeah, their markup might not be as much because, they're spending part of it into more sustainable practices. So that's maybe a place where businesses could, take opportunity to be more sustainable. But at the same time, there are other companies, maybe like more everyday, maybe some of your cheaper brands that, consumers are like, hey, I want you to be more sustainable. Well, companies are already, maybe close on a goal IMU and they can't hit it because now you want them to be sustainable. So it's interesting. I'm not saying like I'm for, or that I'm against sustainability or anything like that. I just wanted to bring it up because I think it's something that kind of keeps the wheels turning. Like, what do we want? And what consequences are we willing to pay for those wants? Because if you're not willing to pay an extra price, then you can't expect a business to meet your needs all the time. So yeah, that's kind of it for the podcast today. I know I went a little short on the music and fashion, but I kind of like to have balance on this podcast. Last podcast we had a lot on fashion and music. This podcast a lot more on our sports section. So thank you again for all the support. Definitely having a lot more support coming in. So appreciate you guys.